Communication is foundational for any human interaction, and according to this book right here, you can actually improve at it. In this video, I will share 3 things that I picked from the last part of this book. Before reading this book, I actually thought all communication is the same. People I considered to be good speakers were just good at it, like it was something that they were naturally born with. Yes, for some, I'm sure they have some inclination to being able to capture the crowd in terms of being more charismatic and all that stuff. But reading this book, I think it has really broken down a number of principles that I have now noticed in the people that I consider to be great speakers. One of these principles is the first one of speakers actually knowing the purpose of their communication, the purpose of why they are speaking, why they want to communicate. Not all communication is equal, and as a speaker, having this in mind before starting your speech or voicing out what you want to say, you have to know the purpose. The book talks about four purposes of communication, one being to persuade, one being to inform, the other being to convince, and the last one being to entertain. And the book goes into a few more details on how these different objectives of communication can be handled. Say, for instance, if you want to persuade somebody to do something, say you've been called up to encourage a team or a group to give for a certain cause, the book says immediately you need to start with a story that you went through that applies to this. So once you go through that story, it immediately captures the attention of the audience. The book goes on further to share some principles on how you can inform a crowd by using illustrations and also using stories and different ways in which you can inform, and you can convince, and you can entertain your audience. So this applies to both extemporaneous communication and impromptu communication, in which the book further goes into more details beyond this short video. One way you can apply this is to begin to see these things in your favorite speakers. As the speaker is talking, be able to pick out whether they're trying to persuade, whether they're trying to inform, whether they're trying to entertain, and try and pick out the common methods, the common things that they're using to do this. Either stories, try and pick out how they are bringing out their stories, how they are illustrating things, how they are having some form of dialogue in their stories, and so on. The second part of what I got from this book is the issue of actually getting your hands dirty. It's easy to be caught up in this phase of constantly trying to get more information on a particular thing, thinking it will be what will cause the change. So for instance, if you're trying to become fitter, lose weight, it may be easier to convince yourself that you're making progress by watching different videos on fitness and nutrition and knowing all these types of exercises and all that stuff. But the truth is, if you do not actually go to the gym, if you do not actually change your nutrition, you'll be just about the same, no matter how you ingest this information. This is the same as well with trying to improve on your communication. You can read all these books, you can listen to all these people talk about this stuff, but if you don't actually get your hands dirty, you will not improve at it. I think some of the things are actually learned in being in the weeds. Some of these things are actually learned by navigating the different nuances to the principles that are shared in books like the one that we're reading. So the more you practice, definitely the better you become at it. So seek opportunities to actually speak out, seek opportunities to share your ideas. If If it's in a group, instead of just keeping quiet and listening to others, voice out what your opinion is. If it's in a meeting, instead of just keeping quiet, voice out what you have to say. Share your thoughts. The more you do this, the easier it will soon begin to become. So be creative with creating opportunities for yourself to practice speaking. Be creative. Be creative in seeking and creating opportunities for you to practice speaking out and sharing what you have to say. The old saying that says, this saying might sound cliche, but I think rings really true. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. So go out there and practice. The last part that really rang true for me in this book is being persistent and being resilient in your pursuit of becoming a better communicator. It will definitely not be easy. There'll be times when you'll be discouraged. There'll be times when you'll be embarrassed. Hopefully there won't be too many, but you will need to pull through these valleys of trying to be better. The old adage that says Rome was not built in a day is definitely true. This will take some time of repeatedly trying to execute these principles, repeatedly trying to refine these principles shared in this book. And this is one thing for me that I try to remind myself constantly about these YouTube videos, which is that first few videos would definitely not be great. In fact, they'll probably be bad. But I'm sure as I do this constantly, if I do this regularly, if I do this consistently, I don't know when, probably after 100 videos, or 150 and so on, I'll hopefully become better. So this goes to communication and even other things that you might try and improve at. Be consistent and be resilient, especially at the beginning. You are bad at it. One way to keep you resilient is by writing your goals down. If you want to find out how to keep your goals in front of you by journaling, watch this next video here, somewhere here. Yes, it will go in a bit more details on how I keep my goals in front of me by journaling.